Okay, so welcome. Today I will be reviewing the games I recorded today on Talishar. Played a total of 3 games. Two were against Boltyn, one was against Zen. The Boltyn was actually the same opponent um, across both games, so that was pretty fun. Uh, oh yeah. Oh, I'll just skip this. He forgot to sideboard his equipment correctly, so we just rematched. Okay, great. So we. Oh, he goes first. Okay. We just. I think we just block out here. I think if I had to say, okay, so I'm reviewing this game. So I think our best player is actually to, in response to the card or the attack express lightning, we activate Kano. We take a look, and then we just either keep it on top, or we send whatever we saw. In this case, we would have sent it, which means we would have been able to actually send a Spindle turn 0. We would be at 28, but Spindle is good. Would deal 3 damage. And yeah, I'm just here. I'm just kind of waiting on him. I am running the normal tempo game plan into Boltyn with Kindle. The reason for that is I just want to test a lot with the tempo game plan and see how it performs into different matchups and stuff. After the 2 games I played today, I think I would suggest bringing in stacking into Boltyn. I think this it is reliable in the sense that it gives you a high win rate. I think it's probably 70-80% maybe after these 2 games. I don't know, of course, because a lot of people don't run Spellfoot 5 AB1. A lot of people can run like AB2 Spellfoot 2. I've seen with Tunic, and I've also seen just AB3 AB1 Spellfoot 3. I think we probably have around 70-80% against. Yeah, against this matchup is probably less, but in the second game, my opponent actually played Spellvoid 3 AB1, which felt a lot better. But in this case, yeah, let's just see how this goes. So we send the Spindle. They will, I believe, just take it. Yeah. So we can look here at our op. Not the best op, of course. We would have loved like a potion or a blazing here, but or a gaze, but that's fine. So I'm just thinking here. I'm treating this game as if it were like a nationals game or something, because last video I think I played a bit too aggressively, and I wanted to avoid that in this video. I bottomed the lesson and topped the rest. So what I do here is I send the Aether Arc with Kindle. So I draw into my Spindle, and then the Aether Arc deals 2 more damage, which is pretty good. I can then arsenal the Spindle and continue. Yeah, that's fine. So we draw into the blue that we opted, and the lesson and the Kindle. So we'll just take this, of course, and then the Raiden, and a Valiant Thrust for 7. So here I'm just like, what do we do here? I don't really know. I think I end up just blocking 3 with lesson and then sending the Spindle, which I think is the correct play, probably. Though, in hindsight, I think might not have. Yeah, considering we had a. Okay, so I'm just gonna explain my other thoughts here. I think we have to go back for a bit here. I think I actually did play this incorrectly. Okay, so let's go over this. Oh god, I just realized something else I could have done, which is just straight up a lot better. Okay, so let's go to the opt. Yeah, perfect. I think what we actually want to do here is top a blue and a lesson. Kano, banish the lesson, then play Kindle. No, not play Kindle. I think. Okay, so what we're doing here is. Okay, so I'm just kind of thinking what I would actually do here right now, because I think I actually misplayed this game a bit. In my head, I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna chip him down a bit, and then eventually do like a combo on his turn when he's like really low. That didn't end up working because the spell rate was so high. I think what I actually should have done is go for a Cinder and Kindle combo, and then combo like 2 or 3 times this game, which I didn't actually do. I think it's more consistent. So in this case, what I probably do is top a lesson, a blue, and then another blue, and then just Kano into the blue, play it for 1 damage, and then Arsenal the Kindle, draw up. And then next turn, so let's just go into our next turn here. Yeah, then next turn our hand would be blue, lesson, lesson, Kindle, and then I would block with one of the lessons as I do in this game, and then Crucible lesson, tutor, cindering, draw up, hopefully draw into cindering 2 blues, and then combo them. In this case, yeah, this is also fine. So what I do here is I Crucible Spindle, and then in response I play Kindle. Well, it's a worse line, but it's also not a terrible line. So the Spindle will come in for 6. They will go to 27, and then I will Arsenal Flare, and then try to set up a Flare play. So this opt is terrible for what we're trying to do here. Yeah. So we just want to send a Flare next turn. But we only see 1 blue in here. I think we have 2 options. We can either top a Flare and a blue, and then bottom the rest. So we draw into a blue and a Flare, and then 2 more cards. And then we can send a Flare on our turn with a random spell off the top, and then Arsenal the other Flare to do that again the turn after. Instead, I go for a different line after I think over it a little bit. That line, I think, is also fine. It's also probably semi-correct. So what I end up doing here is... Oh, now you missed it. Okay. So I'm going to the top, Tome, Boom, Blue. Okay, so I bottom Cindering, and then I top the rest, leaving the Tome as the first or the last card. So I draw into everything but the Tome. Now I know there's a Tome on top. I can then, depending on what he does, I can just look at that. So I take that Take Flight. This I probably also take that, because why not? He activates his hero ability, and then a Sensor. So this does put me in a bit of a difficult spot. Most people who play Sensor against Kano want to name Wildfire. That is bad. You should probably never name Wildfire, because you're ending your turn with this. And if I want Wildfire to not be named, I can just respond to Sensor's hit effect and just, not worry about it. In this case, though, it's kind of iffy, because if he's good and he plays Sensor because he knows what he's doing, he'll name either Flare or Spindle, and in that case, I'm kind of bad. I don't really like. So here I block just with the Flare. So if he names Flare, I can send a Spindle, and if he names Spindle, I can send a Flare. What I should have done in this case is block probably with Spindle and Boom. So I block out, keep the flare in hand. Then on my turn, well, I should probably do that in response then. So in response, I should Kano and then play the tome, draw 2. If I draw 2 blues, I can block with Boom and Spindle and then send the flare on my own turn, like you would just a double flare hand. If I draw into like something else, I can see what I want to do after, you know, because I still have the option to block. Here he's just thinking on what he wants to name, so I'll let it. Spoiler alert, he does end up naming Wildfire, which I think is a mistake, but you know, he's probably just scared of Wildfire, but he's ready to play spell for 5. In the last game we are going to look at, you can also see that he's overly scared of Wildfire. Let's just maybe skip ahead a bit. Not that far. Yeah, so he named Wildfire, and now he just ends his turn, so it's my turn now. We'll Kano into the tome, draw 2, see what we hit. We draw into 2 blues, perfect. So now we should just Kano and then play our flare. Yeah, so here I'm just thinking, I can also just Kano again because I have the resources to send the flares up anyway, and I hit the person of the issue, so I get rewarded, which is fun. So then I Crucible and play the flare. For 4, he doesn't end up ABing anything, and I send this up for 5. So we deal 9 damage, he goes to 20 or 18. Then we Arsenal the Spindle, which is a good card to have in Arsenal, and then it's his turn. Yeah, so we just end up, we draw up, and we Arsenal our Spindle. We draw into a pretty decent hand, 4 blues. 2 potions though, so we can't really block all too well, but we don't really want to block this hand anyway. So we're just gonna block as late as possible to play around any potential Command and Conquer, because he does play those. I think we already saw one Command and Conquer used to pitch or block. Well, can be blocked, so he just plays with it probably. Here I do block the Illuminate because Illuminate is pretty relevant on it, especially because he is running the Radiant Flow leggings. So yeah, so now it's just our turn. We just Crucible Flare for 5, then we up 5, and we'll see what we get, what we can draw into. He responds with a Slap Happy, so that's a card I have never seen anyone play before. But it prevents 2 and it gets a Vigor token. So if you want to attack against Kano, this is a pretty solid card. He also prevents 1, so he only takes 2, goes to 16. So here we see a tome in the blue. I think we just top both because we have the food potion out. We can always use it to get more resources, which is good. Beaming Bravado for 4. So I think our players didn't just not block. And if he has the attack reaction, we kind of fuck. But if he doesn't, we can just see and maybe blocking is probably better. Yeah, I think I do agree with blocking actually. Here I'm just thinking because it's kind of awkward. This hand is kind of awkward. But luckily, sort of luckily, you just place the Illuminate and then we can block out fully. And then on our turn, we can play the Clarity Potion. I'll undo I accidentally passed here, so I'm just gonna undo and play the Clarity Potion. Okay, so we end turn, we draw up, I believe into a Blazing, a Cindering, a Tome, and a blue. Wow, it's almost as if I played this game. So, solid hand. problem is he has AB or spell with 6 or 5, and you know, like he's on 16, but still, that's kind of not super cool. I think we've only seen one wildfire of this game. We kind of want two here, and we also don't have an arsenal. So he starts off with a prayer of Bellona. I don't know. He pitches a bolt of courage. This does make me think he does actually have like solid attacks in hand, because bolt of courage is pretty good attack for Boltyn. So I'm thinking right now that I can probably not block out this this turn. So if we just do some math here, which I didn't do in the game, which I probably should have done. If I start blocking here, I really want either the Blazing or the Tome in Arsenal, depending on how much we need to block. Preferably the Blazing in Arsenal. So the Prayer of Bellona is +2. Let's assume it hits, because this is our worst case scenario, and hitting is like 50% chance or something. He gets a Cardinal Soul, so he can attack with Raiden. We can block 3. And he can use the Cardinal Soul to give a go again. Then he can attack with probably a 0 for 4, which you can actually cleanly block out. So I think the move here is... Oh no, Raiden is 4 or 5. So we go to 1. We would go to 1. So I think that is actually the move. I think we can probably cleanly block out this turn. And if we look at... So I do end up comboing here. So I see a Wildfire Zap and an E-Pods. So this is hard. I don't think I made the correct call. Don't really specifically remember what I did end up doing, but we'll just have a look. Okay, so we have 2 blues and then Wildfire on top. All Striders. Oh yeah, I'll probably play the Tome here, no? Yeah. Smart. Then I'll... oh yeah, I remember. So I Deja Vu Pod here, put the extra blue on top, so we have 3 blues and then a Wildfire, then our Rags. Get the Blazing on top. And then Kano, so the Blazing goes out of the way, then we draw into 2 blues, then there's a Wildfire on top, which we can just Kano. Yep, perfect. So we banish the Wildfire, and then we can activate the Clarity Pot and see what we're dealing with. A Wildfire in the flare. So, quick. Let's just see here. So yeah, a Wildfire and flare. So we have a Wildfire and banish and a Blazing, and we have 6 resources. So if we activate Kano, we can play a 2 cost or 1 cost and a Blazing, which would be the Wildfire and the flare, and then the Blazing. But considering he has a spell void 4 AB1 up, that is not actually lethal. So what we want to do here is bottom to both and go fish for a Tome. That's as easy as it is, because that's our only way to kill right now. But we do end up just topping both. So flare. So we just send Wildfire, flare, Blazing here. He does end up having Slap Happy in hand, which whatever, doesn't actually matter. Yeah, I just sent him the good game because... So, okay, so if you do look at what he had in hand, he would be able to send this for 5 and then the Banneret for 4, which is exactly what I predicted. I didn't actually know he had this hand, but that... so, we could have been able to cleanly block out this turn. And then send up the Blazing for 4, which is not lethal. So if he does whiff and he doesn't hit a yellow, we do actually still have a chance, because he can attack with he can attack with Raiden, but wait. Yeah, but it'll only deal 2, and 2 is not enough to go. I don't actually look at my deck, which is a shame. So yeah, I think we're just blocking with this hand, and then we are drawing into these three, and then I believe another wildfire would be our draw. Yeah, so the yeah, do your thing, man, do your thing. Yep, and then we clarity pots. So we had blue, wildfire, blue, and then another wildfire with the flare on top. I don't know if that would have been lethal. Thing is, it would have been a lot closer to lethal than we were right now. I do think I misplayed this game. I think I should have been focusing more on going for Cinder and Kindle combos, using no equipment to combo, and then after I either force a spell void or deal a lot of damage, I can go for a second or third combo and eventually kill him, which would have been a better game plan than I did right now. Our next game, spoiler about the outcome of the game, it's 2.5 minutes long, so let's go. Yeah, this is mostly because he wasn't running AB. I just wanted to I recorded this game and I was like, this is a really good showcase of what Kindle can do if you just let it go, you know. So they take 5. I could have actually I had a line here where I could have done 6 damage, but it doesn't hugely matter, so whatever. This hand I can actually already combo off with this hand, but I end up not because I want to set up the clarity potion. Oh, the clarity potion. I should have told y'all this in the intro. The clarity potion is kind of a meme pick. It is a solid card, maybe. I think I'm replacing it with I, definitely. Because I just does the same thing, but with no setup, so, you know. So, we are just taking everything here. Because he has no AB, and we've already seen 2 Kindles, so we can just dig for combo pieces and fuck him up. So yeah. We can actually present a kill here, probably. I don't know because I don't remember what's on the top of my deck. But if we can just do a weird fucking double Kindle line, I don't know. Yep. Our turn. Kano, see a boom. That's a pretty good hit. Crucible and then boom for 4. Great hit a quickening. Play that out. Deals 2 damage. Play out the potion. Pass turn. So we outbeat ourselves here, but it doesn't really matter because it's Kindle, so whatever. So I think we probably would have been able to kill here with if we had went for it last turn. Seeing what we drew here, and I don't know exactly what how I would have sequenced it, but I think we would have drawn exactly into these 2 blues and then banished this blazing and the boom, and then also banished that wildfire, so would have been easy lethal. But now we just, you know, like at this point, yeah, Rags, great job. Put the blue on top, and we can into the blue because it's a guaranteed kill, and otherwise we can hit a Kindle at the top and not kill, which is not fun. And if we hit a yellow, we still have lethal, or if we hit a red off of the Kindle draw, we still have lethal. So, you know, that's why I did it like that, and that's easy kill. Minus 15 he goes to. Pretty cool game, huh? I love Kindle. Okay, sorry for the cut. I had a call. I got a call that I had to take. So we're reviewing this game. This is a pretty good game. Yeah, that's okay. So first turn of the game, this is our hand. We just Kano with the tome and the sculling. We want to play out the E-pot, play out whatever we hit off the top, and then Arsenal the boom. So yeah, we get the sap. We do 1 damage, which is pretty cool. Then we just play with the E-Pod. Best turn. Yep, perfect. So this hand, in between me playing this game and reviewing right now, I think I switched my mentality on going against high spell with decks. I believe I already told this in the first Boltyn game, but I think I'm more of a fan of comboing like once or twice now, except instead of setting up and chipping them down with like flares and spinners and stuff. So yeah, I think the best play here is to just block 3, let him get his triggers and take a bit of damage, and Sonic Boom Arsenal the lesson, and then next turn we can Arsenal lesson and get or play lesson Arsenal a combo piece if we have it in hand, and then 2 to 4 either Kindle or Cindering, depending on what we Arsenal. But instead of that, we start blocking very aggressively here. I don't think I agree with that. Just it does dig you deeper to potions, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't really like it necessarily. If we see in CNC, I'm just like, damn, a shame. Now I can't play out my boom. But I block for 2, take 4. And my turn. Crucible, lesson. I should probably get a Cinery here. As I said, I am much more focused on chipping down main phase in this game than I should be. But what can you do? So I'm just gonna get a flare here, I think, which is the correct call for the game plan that I am, doing. So that's a plus. That's definitely a positive. He comes in with the bannerets. Yeah, this hand kind of sucks. Probably Kano here. See what we get. It's a D-pot. And I think I'm a fan of Crucible Flare. Leaving the Kindle in Arsenal. We could also Flare and keep in hand the Wildfire. But he has too much spellforge for that to be something I want to do. So just send the 4 here and see what he does. Let's see what he does. He plays the Slap Happy. So yeah, this is actually a pretty good tech card against Kano if you're playing Boltyn. Prevents 2 and gets you the Vigor token, which you can use to pay for your turn. Pretty solid. We draw to a pretty garbage hand. Best bet here is to probably block a play out the potion. Best turn, I think, on our turn, depending on, of course, what he does. See how he blocks. So he sends the bolt for 4. Probably fun of blocking that with Tome and Blazing, potentially save the flare for a future turn. Or this is also fine. We can IP ourselves with the Blazing if he doesn't attack with anything else. This decision realistically doesn't really matter because he can always just attack with the Raiden after this. So, but I think optimally what we want to do is block Blazing and find off. But we just block with everything. We kind of get got by the Lumina, but he only gains life off it once, so it doesn't really matter that much. And we go to our turn, just play out the E-pot, pass the turn. His hand is... You could combo with this hand, I think. Realistically speaking, you would get a kill more often than not. Now we do end up not comboing here. I think it's kind of hard, but I think we can. I think our best bet is to just take whatever they do. So just take whatever, and then if they tap out or if they only have like one more card in hand or something, we actually do want to combo. I end up not doing that, I believe. Yeah, so we don't block the Illuminate. And here I think we should actually send the combo. What we should do is Kano with Tome, Blazing Tome, Kano again with the blue, Deja Vu Pot, banish the Blazing and the... or put Tome, Blazing, Blue, Tome. So you banish the Tome, then the Blazing, then we play the Kindle, draw the blue, Kano, banish the Tome, play out both Tomes, draw 4, and then see what we draw to see if we want to combo further. So that way we actually don't commit any equipment, and we can, depending on what we draw and stuff, we can see if we want to complete our combo, so to say. I don't know if we would have killed if we did that, but probably we would have. Not entirely sure, so just not comment on that. Here we Crucible, send the Quickening, and then send the 8th art after. If he takes all 4 damage, we send the Blazing, because the Quickening gives us an action point back. If he does not do that, like he does in this game, we just pass with the Blazing in hand. It's not too bad. Considering Blazing is still this, a solid combo piece. Yeah, so here we do need to combo off. Oh, sorry, I was a bit distracted. I should actually talk about this. I think we can block this out, what he's doing here. I think we should. Well, no, I don't think we should. We can, but I don't think we should, because this hand is actually really good for combo. Double gaze with the D-pot, so we should probably just do that. I do misplay a bit here. I think here we should put 3 Kanos on the stack, then Deja Vu Pot, Kano out both the gazes, and then in response to the last Kano rags, banish the last blue, and then whatever after that. We'll So we play out both the gazes in response to each other. We find, wait, what did we find? Yeah, okay. Yeah, now just play out both the gazes because, Tome and a blue. We banish the Tome. I think here what we should do is Kano, rags, draw the blue, put the Blazing on top, Kano resolves, then let the last gaze resolve, and then opt another 2, so we then have 2 blues in hand, or a gaze and a blue in hand, and blazing in the banished zone. The reason I think we should do that is because then we have 2 blues in hand instead of 5 cards, which makes the Kindle and Arsenal easier to play. Now the Kindle is kind of difficult to sequence. Yeah, because we find a Zap and a Kindle where it's kind of difficult to, sequence this. So what we actually need to do here is kind of goofy. So we Striders play out the Blazing, and then Kano 3 times. Then in response Kindle, draw the Kindle, Kindle, draw the blue, and then, or we should actually bottom blue, so we draw a random card, so we dig a card deeper. It's actually better in this scenario. We do end up doing that. Please do that now. Yeah, he's thinking real hard about this because it's a pretty difficult decision, obviously. Yep, so we take the correct line, we play the Kindle. So we put the Deja Vu on top here, we draw from the Kindle into the Deja Vu pot, and then we're just gonna let our Kano resolve. The first bench is a Cindering, so we can play the Cindering, up 3, see what we get. A lesson. So here I'm just thinking, is for example a double lesson, double blazing line lethal? It's not. If he has a yellow in hand, it is as if he has a red in hand. Decide not to go for it because it's risky, So don't want to. And instead Kano again eventually. Yeah, I'm thinking really hard about my lines here because I really don't know what is smart. Banish the Spindle after the Kano. Now I missed this, but lesson Spindle Blazing actually is lethal through a yellow. I missed it. What can you do? That's, I think, a better line than what I eventually end up doing, because my opponent AB'd in a suboptimal way, in my opinion. But because of that, that ended up enabling them into sorry, that ended up enabling them into actually stopping me. They ended up not taking the line that would stop me, but it was still a possibility, which is bad, obviously. So here, what I do is I actually send the lesson, and I tutor. So this is for 7 through the 5 prevention he has here. The 4 prevention he has here, I deal 3 damage, and I can actually tutor a wildfire, which is what I want to do. Because if I tutor the wildfire, that can resolve. So he has used 3 of his prevention on the lesson, and the wildfire would come in for um, 5 because AB1, and then the spindle, and then the blazing would be lethal. Because I can double buff spindle with the resources I have right now. If he prevents 1 with soul bond and AB1, he would take 5, go to 29. I get the wildfire. I can play the wildfire, would deal 3 damage, then the spindle would deal 7 damage, and the blazing would come in for 20 damage. So it would be 20 plus 10 is 30, plus 5 is 35. No, it would be 13 plus 18, because we're going to deal 18. 13 plus 18 is 30. No, what? What am I doing? The blazing would deal 18. So 18 plus 3 from the wildfire is 21, plus 7 from the spindle would be 28, plus 5 from the lesson would be 33, which is actually not quite lethal. So I go for a different line here. After he only AB1's my lesson, I'm like, ah, shit. Now my wildfire line isn't lethal anymore. So I have to think about this. So I do something else, which is pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool that I pivoted so fast between these lines. I actually found the other lethal line so quickly. Because this lesson of 5, we only need to deal 3 more damage to make blazing lethal, right? So I tutor my last, so I'm here like, fuck, what do I get? And then I'm like, oh, I can probably just get blazing to double blazing, which I end up doing. And if I can get the blazing, please. Get the blazing, man. Yeah, I get the blazing, again it resolves. Then I can play out the spindle for 4. And if he AB1 spell for 2 this, it would deal 1. He would go to 28, I would have dealt 6 damage in total. I can up 1, and I would need to find something which can do enough damage to kill. But because he also didn't use his spell void on the lesson, I can pretty safely assume that he will not be using his spell void on the spindle, even though clearly he should. So yeah, I can just go for this line where I tome, draw 2, play the spindle out, and then double blazing for lethal. I think that was pretty cool, if I do say so myself. This is one of the better, like the cooler lines I found. I don't think it was actually the best line in the given context, but it was pretty cool. So whatever, you know. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope I explained myself clearly and stuff. Goodbye.